Alright, and welcome to game 16 between Butterhawk and Reggie and Matri and Moofish. The winner of this best of three, this is game one, the winner of best of three will move on to the grand final and probably have to wait a few days for some of the losers bracket games to catch up so that they can get their opponent for the final. But anyway, on we go. So on the left we've got top left Butterhawk going Aeon. I think he's been going Aeon a fair bit in this, I think. Anyway, Aeon first land, not too bad. Mexes and P-Gens queued up. And down the bottom with him is Reggie going Seraphim. So both with some floating units to get across that water. Hopefully nice and early, first land as well. Over on the bottom right is Moofish with UEF, and I believe he's been UEF for most of this as well, if not all. And top right is Matri for Cybran, so same with him. I think he's been Cybran for most of this. Alright, the first engineer's out from everyone. Who's going where? We've got hydro pushes for each player fairly early. A little bit more delayed for Matri going for the mechs first. If he's building enough power around his start, he won't need that hydro just yet. Could be good for some overcharges a bit later on though. And no raids coming out just yet, except Butterhawk's got a scout out now. Still NGs for Reggie. Yeah, and Moofish and Matri still going NG. So just a scout out now, tank coming second for Butterhawk. If he is going to a little bit of a battle going on here between the scout and the NG. So you got to be careful of that sort of thing. There we go, he gets past. So he's wasted a fair bit of time. However, if that scout is there to support the tank and follow the tank around while the tank goes hunting likely engineer positions, it's better to get the tank out first because the tank's slower. It's going to take him longer to get to where he's going, and if he builds after the scout, then it's just those few more seconds it's going to take him to get to where you want him to raid. So if you're not sending the scout out just as a bit of intel, early intel, if he's meant to be with the tank, which it looks like he is, build the tank first, then the scout. The scout will catch up to the tank easily before he gets to where he's going. Alright, Moofish is pushing across to the bottom, or the center expansion for him. We've got Reggie's moving straight into the middle of the water, potentially to push down on top of Moofish. Ooh, and a PD. Yeah, to protect against any any Zooies coming across that water, I guess. Yeah. If Reggie has eyes on that, and he's sending the Zooies across, he'll just be able to take that out outside of its range, and it will be a bit of a waste. Maybe against the Aurora it would fare a bit better. Alright, however, have we got eyes on this comm yet? Not just yet, but almost. Oh yeah, he's in range now. So there he is. He may mistake that for an engineer and go and die to it, but at least I know the comm's there. Reggie probably needed to push his comm, unless he's got a different plan in mind, quickly across to here to claim it with his own comm. Would not be a bad option. But we've got no contesting of any forward points from Reggie at the moment, letting Moofish get them quite easily for free. Up in the top, we've got no comm movement from either player. Oh no, there we go. There's Butter's comm coming across. That should help secure this expansion here and push these guys back a little bit. Hopefully, if he's supported with tanks, he will hopefully bring these guys across to help out. Not hard. Thanks to them being hover, they just go straight across the water, come up and help him out, and he's doing that now. What else have we got going on? We've got the air factory out, sitting idle though. Don't know what he's going to build. Maybe a transport. Maybe he's just waiting for more power for that transport build. No, he's just going inties and scouts, I assume. Yeah, there we go, just inties. Alright, the Aurora now getting put to work. Hopefully he can catch that engineer. A little bit too late for the expansions, to stop the expansion, but if he gets the mechs, it'll at least be a bit of a bonus for him for a short while. There we go. Missed the engineer, but never mind, it would have been good to get both. Alright, we've got scouts coming out from the right side and from Butter. First inty now here from Matri. Little bit of anti-air in the mix. Probably a bit of a safety measure, seeing as air was pretty late. You don't want bombers running all over you, like what might happen right here with Moofish. He's got a couple of bombers ready. Com standing idle right there, you don't want to be doing that. Getting a factory out. So Mednews for the reclaim, and maybe to help defend against any of these pushes from the Zuis. Would have been a nice idea. Matri now taking this expansion and denying it from Butterhawk. However, Butter does have this one here, so it's a bit of a trade-off, I guess. However, on the bottom, Moofish taking both expansions, leaving Reggie without an extra source of income, and Reggie's also missing his 2 rear mexes, or 1 each for Reggie, Butterhawk, depending on how they want to split it. But we got the bombers coming across now. Looks like they're just going to do some defending. Could get them in against these engineers that are trying to build stuff up, especially out here. PGN Air Factory, knock that guy out. You delay that Air Factory build a minute or two until he realises. Excuse me. Alright. Bit of combat up the top now. Matri's guys pushing in against Butterhawks. Butterhawk right there with his comm though, and he's seen that, cancelled the build, and moving in. He maybe could have finished the factory first. He's got enough land to deal with this here just now. Get that factory done and pump out more tanks, but it's... Yep, he's doing it. Alright, and Reggie's comm now pushing up to put some heat on Matri's base. Meanwhile, the bombers are going to town on his army, and he has no anti-air, he's got no inties. We've got some inties coming down from Butterhawk, though they should be able to handle the task, especially if Matri doesn't realise what's going on. Although these guys are on voice with each other. A bit of a ping there, I don't know who that was from. Either pinging the idle comm or pinging that there's a comm there attacking their base. PD going down nice and quick, helped by the Mantis. I think I saw that. Nice use of the Mantis to help get that PD up. Could have pushed the NG, the PD. There's no walls around it, he can kill it straight away. And then assess his options. Maybe he can hang around and do a bit of damage or get back into the water. But he's fallen back as it is anyway. So we've lost a Mex here. Moofish's comm putting down a PD on the water, just about. Let's see how he goes with that. Nothing in range. But Reggie's artillery can just about hit it from there. It won't take him much. All he's got to do is scout it. Well, he knows that one was there. All he needs to do is scout those and they'll be dead with that artillery, with those Zuis. And Butterhawk now has, for the most part, at the moment, denied the top expansion from Matri. He's still got an engineer hidden in the back here. He's done well to get that guy out of harm's way, keep him away from Butter's army. He's still got a mech there as well, and Butters isn't doing anything to come up and take these mechs. He's getting an upgrade. He got gun. He may be going double gun. A good choice early on, and the intel just not covering that mechs. Right, back down. Bombers still doing their work. Still no inties out. He has not prioritised what he needs to prioritise, which is the inties. Relying on Butterhawk there instead. But those artillery are just getting taken apart by those bombers. That grouped up hit, and that took out nearly all... Ooh, wait. No, they're done. Took all that clump out. A nice defensive bomber work there. Transport here with some units going for a bit of a combat drop. Keep an eye on that and see where that goes. Butters comm pushing forwards now with the double gun. Yep, nice choice. No upgrade yet from Matri. Butters needs to push his comm ahead of that army. This AC will deal all the damage he needs to these guys and leave Butter's army intact and ready to push on the main base. But as it is, he's going to lose units in this army versus army fight without the comm there to take a lot of hits. And now the Skyhook, the drop coming in, the Inties have seen it, they're going to get it. That's going to be bad luck. No joy for Matri's drop. Could have done some damage there. There's no units around here. Maybe some PD could have gone up, but I think Matri would have done a good job there. Now the bombers coming in to defend against this land push, as well as some of his Matri's Mantis from up the top. The Zoo is pushing towards the comm. I don't think they're going to get away from the Mantis. Yes, the Mantis will close a little bit of micro, and they're targeting the mechs anyway. The mechs should die. Down it goes. So pushed Moofish off this position. I forgot about the battle that was going on up here. Butterhawk now only 6 kills. He would have had a vet at least if he had to push the comm forwards, and he would have taken out all these units easily and had most of his army remaining. He could have used his army to help defend the comm, and he'd have a lot more units now to push on this base. And Matri would be in a very bad spot indeed. And now the Zooies running for their... No, they're not running for their lives. We missed it. The Lobo push has come through the bottom, taken out the walls, and Reggie's base. Not sure what he was doing down here, but he left that wall undefended. And walls have no DPS. They cannot move. So they are incredibly vulnerable. They'll help to block a spot. They'll help to mess with the pathfinding. But and we're going to split screen this. But as far and get out of the way. As far as stopping an army, the walls won't stop an army if they're on their own. Defend them with some units, PD, and a little bit more effective. But just this wall on its own, as you can see, Reggie's lost his base. He's on the way down. Now Butterhawk still pushing strong with the ACU there. We've got Matri's almost complete with what I think was the T2 upgrade. Done. Is he going to go for gunner, or is he just going to... he's going to build PD. There's a Mantis in the way. No, it's a lab. A stupid lab is standing in the way of a T2 PD. And Butterhawk, though, making a good push. Probably, yeah, not bad. So raiding down with his units. Needs to keep this comm in the fight as long as he can. All this mass that Matri's putting into his base defenses now is not going into anything else, and if Butter stays out of the way of those PD, then you know they're not in a complete waste. They've kept him away from the base, but it would be mass that Matri could have spent otherwise. However, down in the south now, push still continuing, still tons and tons of Lobos. I don't know what Reggie's plan is going to be from here. But he has one air factory. He has no land factories. No, he's got one land factory. Excuse me. He's still got his overcharge, so that's very lucky. Very lucky, because he has a ton of Lobos coming his way and they're not slowing down. Some tanks at this point from Moofish would be very, very good to deal some of that direct damage that's needed right now. Lobo's good, but Com's going to dodge a lot of their fire. And we can see here now, more Cerberus turrets going up for Matri. Let's get this back in. So Matri's Cerberus turrets costing him 480 mass each. So he's going to have 5 at the time he's finished this. So that's almost 2,500 mass that he's put into that. Could have used that on some. He's got his mexes upgrade. Could have gone for T2, but instead he's been forced to put that into PD. So. A nice move by Boxer, especially to avoid walking into that and losing a lot of hit points. Still needs to keep an eye on the north though. Reggie's still pushing against these Lobos with his comm. He's going to stop this group. Now is his power. He's got plenty of power.
Commander under attack.
So overcharge will be fine. But he stepped into the middle of the Lobos. get some friendly fire going. I think cause them to not be able to hit him if he gets inside their minimum range. Do they have a minimum range, Lobos? I guess they do. I haven't played UEF for a very long time. It's a very small minimum range. Ooh. But he did serve to break up their attacks. Plenty of units coming down now from Butters to help. That's going to stall the attack, the very effective attack on Matri, and let him get back into it. He's got a lot of mass to use here. He can rebuild these factories very easily, build over the top of them for a 50% starter boost. If anyone doesn't know that, if you've got a wreck, a building wreck, and it's still sitting there ready to go, instead of reclaiming it, build the same building over the top, it'll start at 50% of its build completion. So halve your build time effectively. Very handy. Alright, Butters now with his army down to support Reggie after being slaughtered by that Lobo push. Jumping back into single screen now. Things have slowed down a little bit. Counter push from Reggie. He's about to get a vet. So boost to hit points. He needs to get that vet. Don't let the tanks get away. There we go. So more regen, more hit points would be worth him pinging Butters' army, or at least taking control of it from Butters and forcing these Lobos back and attacking this position. Someone needs to take this middle spot though. There's a bit too much going on for these guys at the moment. Butterhawk now coming down to try to pincer in Moofish. Still these mechs unclaimed up the top. He's just reclaimed that one there. A lot of units coming down now from Matri, but the double gun comm, and he's already got one vet, almost on 2 vets. He won't get much done. T2 land is going to be needed from Matri. He's already got, well, obviously the T2 on the comm, getting the T2 PGen flak in his base there, so that'll stop any sort of air push, but it doesn't look like there's going to be a T2 air push from the left just yet. Another drop coming across. It's going to be scouted. Is it going to be seen? It's sitting here and it has been seen. Butters gets lucky a second time. Still hasn't reclaimed that wreck. He's got to reclaim those wrecks. Is it going to get it in time? No, he's going to drop. No. Ooh, plenty of inties. Way too many inties to achieve that drop. Now getting hit by this Jester. He's got the inties to deal with that. He's got the anti-air there to deal with that as well. Yeah, so long as he doesn't put it on the front line against Lobos. There we go. It looks like Moofish's base is about to fall. Matri now making a push. Still T2 only on his comm, but pushing with the Mantis against a spread out army here. 2 factories here will help. He's got T2. Not quite the thing you want to push out first with T2. Especially when you've had to move your gun comm and most of your army south. He's going to need direct fire. So again, tanks, T2 tanks with some scouts, a Lobo or 2 to deal long range damage to anything that goes up here, or Lobo, a MML, sorry, maybe a handful of those, but you can see these MMLs aren't going to do much against the Mantis. They just roll straight through. Definitely needs to be building tanks, and he's getting obsidians now. T2 factory here. And he's building Auroras out of it. He can afford to go for, there we go, oh, he's building 1 for 1 blazers, and okay, I see what he's doing. I think he wants the Auroras maybe to be able to go across the border. Maybe he's keeping that option alive, but here we go, comm v comm. It won't be much of a fight. Butterhawk will probably push Moofish into the water very quickly. Yeah, he doesn't want to hang around. But Moofish's base being reduced to rubble as Moofish did to Reggie. Reggie not really getting himself back into the game just yet. Looks like he's ecoing first. Needs some factors, needs to get these mexes and start to push back as quickly as he can. He needs to free Butterhawk. Oh, that's nasty. He needs to free Butterhawk up to continue his attack on Matri up the top here. Really needs to relieve the battle from Butterhawk. I think that's right English. It doesn't matter. Who cares? Not me. So, ouch for Moofish trying to keep a T2 factory alive that he can't afford. Butterhawk getting rid of it very easily. And you can see there that destroyer is just not getting anywhere with the build. No power, a little bit of power, a little bit of mass, not enough. Let's have a look. So 20 minutes in, it's been a fairly active game so far. Both bottom players are getting absolutely thrashed, and the top now steadied in the middle. A whole stack of PD going down, a bit of radar, some TMD, yes, very nice. So now the TMD up, a few more MMLs are going to be needed if he's going to get, oh geez, yep, there we go. Now building over that TMD wreck, very nice choice, except now it's dead. But you could see there it only had half the build it needed. Radar going down, excellent. You take out some of these PDs and make a push and get rid of this little position before Matri gets established. If he gets established there, it's going to take something more than MMLs and T2 tanks to push on it, but he's taking those PD down. Butterhawk now getting caught idle. Starts the move though. Only Lobos against the 3 vet double gun Aeon comp, so he will be alright. However, Reggie mistakenly not attacking what is down here. He knows there's something there. He's not focusing it. I don't know why they want to do this. Reggie could take Moofish out of it. Instead, he's going to let him back into the game. And if Reggie knocked him out, there's another 3 expansions that he could take, as opposed to his 1 starter base and a few mexes around here. But he's bringing his units down. Yes, he needs to deal with this base. Forget the com. Com can't do much. He doesn't have the eco really. Reggie really needs to deal with this base now with Thams. He needs T2 land, would be a good start, as well as a few factories to back up for T1. Butterhawk doing alright up to his 4th vet there, so the fight is now heated out up the top. We have just MMLs left. This is not what you want as your main bulk of your army. You want these guys to support a heavier T2 Obsidian army for the push. It won't take much to come up and just roll over the top of these guys. We've got a PD for defense up here, not bad. But let's see the range. It's not going to cover all of this low ground. It doesn't cover much at all. Only about maybe 25, 35% of it. So these guys can sneak around fairly easily. And see, pushing back the MMLs now. MMLs easily dodged as well. There's plenty of zaps there. They're taking them out. Meanwhile, T2 land and getting rhinos for Matri. And that's going to roll over the top of Butter's army here unless he gets more factories, more obsidians, and he's getting mercies. Interesting. So now we've got the Zooies just hanging flex here, doing nothing. A mistake. We can see here the Lobos again. Tried and true, it worked before, it's going to work again. They're going to roll through, take out the T2 mechs there that's completely undefended, and it's capped. That's going to be a bad loss. Because Moofish has been left to produce from here, he's now ineffective eco and build is still proving to be a thorn in the side of Reggie. 9 mass coming in, he's not even stalling. He's actually doing okay to not stall and keep this level of production going and continuing to bug the hell out of Reggie. Would not hurt to start sending the engineers back to reclaim his base and build tanks. Tanks, Moofish. Lobos are cool and all, but even less effective when you've broken open the barrier and not moved. So they will get hit from these Zooies. I don't think they're going to do much damage. Depends how the micros go. We've got a lot of units sitting here in the middle now, just not doing anything. If they're going to sit there, bring them down, attack this base, take it out, reclaim these bases before Moofish can get them, but Moofish isn't going. I guess one of the things I had a lot of problems with, besides always E-stalling, because I never built E, was reclaiming mechs, not being aware that mechs has died and not just voting an engineer to start retaking mexes, or a couple of engineers to retaking mexes. Send 2 up here, 2 up to here. They'll get taken fairly quickly if they don't get raided, and Moofish will be back in the game. Butter, however, bringing Engies down, setting up a land factories on the south, well, south of his position anyway. It's on the eastern side of the river though. Not a bad option. How's Matri's intel? It's good. He's going to know it's there as soon as he zooms out and sees it. But he may be able to get some raiding done. We've got the... no, it's just coming down here. More factories. Navy factory coming up now for Matri. Ooh, shield on Butter. Nice. So Butterhawk could assist with a push on here. I guess if he got just tanks, plenty of tanks now, Butterhawk thins out the army, then he can push forwards and start knocking out everything that's here. I don't know. It'll take a lot of damage though, a lot of casualties. I think an air push or a T3 land push is going to be needed to take this out. Maybe some static arty or some TMLs to start hitting the base. TMLs launched from here. Smash that. What do we got? Where's a T2? And Butterhawk's comm under attack. I don't see any T2 NGs. They're all T1, but no... do that. Yeah, no T2 NGs. Okay, never mind. TML though, from there, TML into the base, hit the T2 mexes, hit the headquarters. That would be disastrous for Matri right now. Zui's pushing across the top here above, or the top of Moofish. Remember, it's all relative. Walls going back up. These have proven to be ineffective defences. Perhaps some T2 PD would rail these guys before they can get close enough, especially if it sits back and hits them as they get into range of the walls. Reggie though capping the mexes at the rear, and some PD here in case if he's going to rely on those walls, some PDs, layered PD, so that those Lobos just have to fight the whole way through and will get taken out. But he would be better building tanks and attacking here. Ilshava, running Ilshava down through here into this base would take it apart. T2 land pushing down now from Matri along their the back of their land, their zone, trying to take out these Zuis that have come across to cancel out the retaking of these expansions. Matri now deciding he wants the expansion for himself. Forget Moofish, he's taking it from his teammate, but that's not going to happen now. Alright, going static on the top. We've got the frigate out though. Can do a fair bit of damage. There's not really a lot to deal with that. Maybe some T2 land, a T2 Navy push. If he got it there and got a destroyer out without Butterhawk doing anything or realising it, would be pretty bad for Butter. On the bottom again though, and here we go. Walls are fantastic until they're non-existent. Lobo's going, forget shooting the walls, let's just go the shit around them. Again, Reggie still only building Zuis, Moofish only building Lobos. It is a crazy battle on the bottom. T1 Arty versus T1 Arty. Some comm battles thrown into the mix. And here we go. Butter's base is now his expansion. His proxy base is going to get taken out. Enough T2 units there with the T1 from Matri to deal with that. Some PD wouldn't have been a bad choice to help defend it. But never mind. Down it goes. His blazers should be coming across here. Use the hover of the blazers to get across and come and raid up through the back of the base. He'd see it. He may be able to get some PD down in time, but then that's more mass wasted here instead of being put into fighting on this front. So we've got a lot of PDs, tons of PDs, tons of TMDs. Those zappers doing their job quite well. Whatever happened to the Mercies? Mercies having not much fuel, so I think it's about 2 minutes of fuel or a minute and a half of fuel they've got when they come out of the factory. So if you're going to send them further forwards, this isn't too bad. This is a smaller map. But on a larger map, if you're going to use them against a forward enemy, you may need air staging to help get them there. Help them refuel. Otherwise they just crash into the ground and die. As cruise missiles do if they run out of fuel. Zooey's still following Moofish's comm. Moofish could just reclaim these, but he's not. Continuing, T2 land. I assume he's getting a bit of help, eco-wise maybe, hopefully, from Matri to help him get to that T. Well, no, Matri is stalling hard. Let's have a look at the ecos. We are half an hour in and haven't touched the ecos. Let's slow this right down. So Butterhawk is sitting on 45, Reggie 47, Matri 49, and Moofish trailing behind on 9. I would say not looking good for the bottom team, except the right team, except for the T2 from Moofish. If he can get some mongoose out, the mongoose will shred the Zooeys quite easily, and that will be Reggie's base done again if he doesn't build tanks or something to stop it. We've got the frigates here meanwhile pushing as well against Reggie's base. The gunship trying to do what it can. I don't know if it's going to get a lot done. These frigates though gonna really hurt this base of Reggie's. Power wise, everyone except Moofish is doing alright for power. Reggie getting upgrades on his comm. Just the gun. He's going to need that against the T2 push. And let's check out total mass before we have a look at the reclaim. So Reggie's stalling for E, that's alright. We checked his numbers before we know what's going on. So total mass, Butterhawk and Matri far ahead of the other two in total mass, although Matri a good 7,000 mass ahead of Butterhawk. And that's reclaim. He's reclaimed, probably would have reclaimed heaps from that battle from earlier, where Butterhawk would have left a lot of mass there for him. And Butter and Reggie sitting on roughly almost 4k mass reclaimed each. Moofish still not much reclaim. He has only 2 engineers that aren't doing much anything at the moment, and the comm's just sitting there. Alright, let's get back into it. Sorry, it's been half an hour and we hadn't even looked at their ecos. Let's have a look. We got T3 mexes in the works. Paused. Yeah, maybe he could pause some other things and unpause the mechs to get it upgraded faster and get that extra mass in sooner. Still T2 land. Hoplites coming out now. That's the only T2 land that he's getting out, though, those 2 factories. He doesn't have a lot of mass, so that's understandable that he's sticking with T1 elsewhere. Nano repair going on. I think Reggie wants to push with the comm by the looks of it. Still no T2 land from Reggie. No tanks. No tanks. Pushing Zooeys against the frigates, never a good idea. Unless they're standing still and not being manoeuvred at all, not being microed. So here we go, we've got T2, we've got the hoplites now coming down to help out Moofish. And he's getting riptides, not wanting to push the mongoose into hit the base front on. Looking for riptides, I guess, to come around through the water and attack the base itself, his production. Also not a bad idea. But now Matri handing over his army, his entire southern army, to Moofish for the push. I guess he needs to micro his own battle in the top, so fair call. T3 mech's done, so Matri now is going to be ahead on mass, far ahead, almost making up for the difference of Moofish being behind. I'm going to pause while the phone rings. Alright, phone's finished. I didn't even answer it. Forget them. So, back into it now. Butters com being caught by some T2 PD and a whole stack of T1 artillery Medusa. A couple of T2 units. He'll be alright though. Well, maybe. Yeah, okay. So he's getting back out of range of that PD. The shield is down and regenning very quickly though. But that T2 PD still doing its job. Going for T2 Navy, yeah, Matri can afford that quite easily now on that T3 Max. Very good choice. Some destroyers will end the game for Butters and Reggie, unfortunately. The frigates going uncontested down in the south. Maybe if he had the spare time he could micro them in against the base, knock out the radar, get rid of that T2 Max. I think they can reach that far, they probably can. And that would hurt, but I think he's got a lot of attention up top here. Torp launcher doesn't want the comm to be able to use the water safely. Now Butters' army being pushed back. Going to go out on a limb and say his big mistake was relying on a ton of MMLs instead of pushing directly. Well, yeah, you can't push directly against that with T2. Maybe the Blazers would have been good coming around the side here, built a few factories down here for T2 and just get them across. Get his mexes upgraded to support it as well. A couple of PD here would have stopped any land pushes from Matri, and not attacking this would have saved him wasting mass in trying to do so. So now here we go. When Zuis work against frigates, there's a lot of Zuis and one unmicroed frigate. Sad to see it die, although the Torp bombers were coming over the top now. Moofish back at his base, looks like he wanted to take it, but Matri's taken it off him. Maybe he'll give those mexes back if he's a good bloke. And now the push on Reggie's com T2 gun with a nano com, just a single nano. I can't tell. Yeah, just a single nano, so yeah, there's a difference. And yeah, cool. Plenty of rhinos now hitting Reggie's com. He does have the overcharge, I think, for it. No, yep. Well, he did. Doesn't have a lot of E coming in. Standing still now, taking a lot of fire. Down to less than half his hit points. They're falling very quickly. He's not going to get out of this. Reggie's going to be done. That is it. Look at those arty shells come in to help. He's not dodging at all, and away he goes. Reggie is dead, and all it took was Moofish to not attack with just Lobos, and he's done in. So Reggie there taking way too long to get rid of Moofish in the south. Too many Zuis, not enough tanks for that push on this base, and he has paid the price. Now Butterhawk coming down to try to stop this army. A few T2 land units in there, some shields as well, but power stalling because the shields are going down there. How is his E? It's not good at all. Going for T3 air without the E. This is a bit of a desperate move. Now he's getting out some T2 and well, he's got one there. Trying to get power going. He probably needs to pause that, upgrade, get the P-gens done. These guys are going to run into the army without being microed and no shielding. They'll fare well against these guys, although they're slipping through instead of pausing to micro and stop them. But this army here should deal fairly easily with the small couple of tanks that are there. Now Butters com down the bottom, making a push on his own against Matri. Butters land units now pushing. It is all guns out for Butterhawk. He knows he needs to make a move, but I don't think, well, I know he's not going to be successful against this position. Only a single shield, but there's a lot of PD under, a lot of TMD, and a lot of Medusa and T2 units in the mix. We've got T2 Navy done. He doesn't have a destroyer out yet though, but it's on its way. We've got the Torp bombers coming out to knock out the torpedo launcher. Yeah, nah, they're just gonna die. So they're trying to come in against the factory. Did need to get that killed, but he didn't need to fly over all that flak. Unfortunately, it's not going to do anything. The destroyer is out, but his army is being defeated slowly but surely, and his comm is now falling back, coming to this expansion to take it back. However, this army is pushing up against only a couple of MMLs at the moment. But his army is now being taken apart. Matri seizing the opportunity and pushing forward with his army. The MMLs will die very quickly once they're targeted. The PD eventually taking out those T2 tanks from Butterhawk. And now the MMLs in range of the Regisle and the few other units supporting. Down they go, the destroyer getting into it as well, and that's Butter's army in the north gone. Alright, a little bit of a defense here from Butters. Streaming in some T1 land, not the best use of it. Clumping them up here and attacking through here would not be a bad idea. Well, the destroyer's doing his job there. But either way, clumping them together, or grouping them together before sending them in would be a much better choice than just rolling them in as a line. Alright, still nothing coming out of the headquarters. I'm not sure. He built a few Riptides. Stopped building them though. Maybe he did not queue his build or put it on repeat. Still T2 land for Matri, T1 air. A T2 air push from Matri would probably help end this game a bit quicker than what it may end up ending at that. Yeah, forget the English again. If Matri goes T2 air, he could end this game quicker than what it would if he did not otherwise. So there we go, Butter's dealing with those pain in the ass Riptides that just keep ramming him. Alright, there we go. No extra damage dealt for the rams, but still funny nonetheless. Now Butterhawk's base going down, nothing he can do to defend against it. T3 air almost done, but without the power to build it, it's just going to be slow and a waste of effort and eco into that. And control K from Butterhawk, he knows it's over. A very close game, a tight game, fairly frustrating on the bottom, but we got there. And very close for Matri, almost dying in the beginning. And a good game going into the second game. One up for Matri. Moofish